tentacles, everything goes.
So,
Yeah.
I believe this is somebody else's.
That could be.
like that.
I
What-
distinctively believe that that could happen.
Because I now have 7, and I don't think I'm supposed to have 7. And that one looks slightly different.
That is definitely a different one.
That's probably yours.
Although,
Actually, it looks like you have a Star Wars set mixed in with that.
Yeah, there's a
so,
couple
Yeah, you
other
have
Star
a
Wars
Star
cards.
Wars.
So you have a
and
blending of your Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
but
your
it only comes with
Genesis.
3 greens anyways.
So he has 2 sets. Oh, but he's still
I only
missing.
have 1 set.
Oh,
Yeah, so see, he has 1 extra.
he has an extra set of greens at least. Well, they're all
No,
Star
he
Wars
just has
guys.
1 extra green.
Oh, so I have 4 extra Star Wars that are probably yours.
Because
Yeah,
yours
but
are the
you
Genesis.
have
What about your
other
other
Star Wars dice.
There's a the bright
You have-
red.
These guys are Star Wars guys.
Oh,
Those dark purples are Star Wars.
The bright
These guys
reds.
are Star Wars.
the
Are you sure you
really
don't
pale
need them?
blue.
There may be a reason you have them that you might need them. Does anyone need dice, by the way?
Those
Me,
blacks
as
right
always.
there are.
These are Star Wars guys.
Yeah. those
Yes,
are Star
because
Wars.
they have the that symbol.
That's a Star Wars.
These guys are Star Wars.
I'm also gonna end up needing another at some point tonight.
You
I
need
don't
5
care.
yellows,
This is
don't
a
you?
No, I don't have any up to 5. I only have 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
two
this
and
is
2
one set.
Well, no, because I don't have any
Three.
5s in,
and 2 and 2. Yep.
in terms of skills. So it would take double upgrades somehow.
So welcome back to another episode of Airship, the Adventures of Airship Gallivant.
Yay!
So where last we left off, you guys were in Casablanca. The captain went and had some shore leave. She came back on the ship and crashed. You all went to Peter's friend Hilda. You found out that Peter's married. Yay!
Mazel tov.
Had a great party, good times happened, and then you guys went to the bank and found out, hey, your Ethermancer has money in the bank. Yay!
Everything's going good.
And then you took the cash. Too
Everything's
good.
coming up. Tentacles.
I sense the theme of the day. Tentacles.
Just for the day. That's it.
We're not gonna call them tentacles. We're gonna call them graboids. So camera fades in, and there's a swipe as all of a sudden you're hearing the engines throbbing and desert wind and.
And the tentacles whipping.
They are, that is what is throbbing.
Oh,
You
no.
can't leave yet.
can't leave yet.
Okay.
So, the camera zooms in on Peter's face, and he's obviously
You
thinking.
are a horrifying.
Okay.
Horrifying
And he's
beast.
thinking, who can I actually trust in this group?
Ooh.
In our group?
Probably not him.
Everyone can trust me because I can make them.
Oh, shit.
And the engineer's bulkhead.
Okay.
Entrevue! That's more French, mon Dieu.
Thank you.
Yikes.
I have something that I need to discuss with you.
I'm still working. I'm like, clear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What? Like,
Not breaking
alright?
So, you know that I haven't talked a lot about myself and my past.
That's okay, I'm proud.
I know, and that's actually one of the reasons why I'm here. And I'm not actually
She
going
prized
to,
pieces of metal.
and I'm not actually going to tell you anything about me and my past because I don't want to put you in danger. However, I am going to tell Hilda some things.
Well, then aren't you talking to the wrong gal?
No, because
Not
Hilda
wearing a
is-
sign.
No, because Hilda is an international spy, and if I
I
don't
dropped my wrench.
Like gas.
Spy? Le spy.
Excuse me?
I thought it was obvious. You didn't realize? Sorry.
Does she look like a ship?
You look like a ship. Alright.
So,
Sorry, that's not the engine I work on.
so, there's a very good likelihood that when I tell her what I'm going to tell her, I'm not going to come back to the ship. Now, she is a good enough spy that it will seem like it was my choice not to come back to the ship. However, that will not be the case.
Dun dun dun.
What?
Oh,
So
there's too many twists.
you're leaving the crew.
No, I'm not leaving the crew. That's the whole point.
But she gonna make you.
She might make it look like I'm going to.
But you're not really.
Right. So if it looks like I'm
So
going to
how
leave
can
the
I help?
crew, if something comes back where it looks like I'm leaving the crew, it means that I'm either dead or in a lot of trouble.
Okay, that means rescue you.
Yes.
Alright, got it! That I can grasp.
Thank you.
Alright, so. Okay then. Any ATAs to win this?
The next 3 hours, because we're about to leave soon.
Well, why don't you just stay on the ship?
Well, because they actually have to tell her these things, and there's a chance that she's
Ever
not.
come aboard?
Well, that's the plan.
We can send a telegram.
No, we could not send a telegram for this. The hope is that
He's way better than I am.
the hope is that she actually does love me, and she will come back or not come back, and we will continue on our journey. However, she is an international spy, and I might wind up dead.
And we might wind up dead trying to get you back. Okay. Hold on, I gotta check my.
Oh, she's looking something up.
Well, no, I have to make sure I check my
Uh-huh.
bonds, my flaws, that type
Your
of thing.
motivations.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure she's loyal. She's checking to see, am I a loyal person or not? It's been a while.
Well, because like my main D&D character that I've been playing recently is very loyal to her friends. This one,
She's loyal to her
She's-
engine.
And actually,
she's loyal to the
I-
idea of safety. So-
I really do not expect you to get yourself killed trying to rescue me.
Aw,
I expect merely a flesh wound.
okay.
And I do, and
I know. I'll stick the 8-man on her.
And I
Steal
I
his
really don't
drugs
think,
and say she did it.
I really don't think it's going to happen.
Oh.
However, there's always a chance.
You could always just steal
Right.
the doctor's drugs and say Peter stole them and ran off. Just wait
Never
for
heard of him again.
That Ilda, you can't trust her. Right. Okay.
So, head off
Okay.
to apparently my house.
Okay, to your house.
Now I'm gonna hold down the fort. Yep. I'm keeping
Yeah,
him
but
anchored.
we haven't taken off yet.
Clank, clank.
Okay, so do you walk the whole way there, or do you take like a man
I've
swag?
actually don't have that much time,
I
so
hear the
I'll
Bee
take
Gees
it.
playing in the background.
So you basically get a nice little ride there. The guys guarding the front door give you the nod and look, and they're just like they're opening the gate as you were pulling up.
Go in, find her.
Okay. She's sitting on her little chaise lounge. She's all in character with her makeup appropriate for the cover she's being. As she immediately as you're starting to head towards where she is, there's a bell that rings. One of the help is notifying her in advance, so she gets all faux shy until she realizes it's you. Then she throws everything off.
How
Hey.
faux.
And immediately she does the whole cute get up and she
Yes.
runs into your arms.
Oh,
I thought you were leaving.
we need to talk.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Wait. And she goes over and pops some champagne and pours you a glass.
Drink the champagne.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be slightly seated.
Drink the
So,
Kool-Aid. If you're married to her, you must trust
Oh
her.
no, it's just the two of you in the
That is
room.
the law.
So she gets pulled back when you're being so serious,
yes.
Whatever is wrong, she puts the hand on your chest.
I know that there are things that we decided that we would not discuss.
Oh, she starts to pull away a little when you say that. Like, whoa.
However, this journey that I am taking is not entirely a normal run. I am searching for something.
And immediately her demeanor changes to she's in business mode. You just notice the little
Yeah.
faux smirky smile is just gone. She's straight faced.
What is it like?
All of a sudden, steel eyes are looking at you.
And we have a lead nearby.
As soon as you say that, she takes like 2 steps towards her chaise lounge. You're sensing she is tensing up really badly, like betrayal most foul.
Yep.
She's gonna be in there.
First you save me, then you come to kill me.
Next thing you know, I'm running in.
She hits the lounge and knives come
I
flying
would
up.
like you to accompany me on this trip.
Ooh, when you say that, she like kind of like exhales finally. The tension
She uncocks the
slightly.
gun.
However, I can understand if that is not part of it.
Okay, so go ahead, and because you're using your steely charisma here and the passion welling in your eyes that you want her close to you, I'm assuming. Give me a coerce. I'm assuming would be the angle you want to go since you're being all open and honest. I'll even take
Charm?
deception. Oh, charm, definitely charm. It's going to be against 2 reds and a purple. Ooh.
2 reds.
And I will give you a blue because
We're ready.
she's legit liking you. She hasn't killed you yet.
You did save her life.
Uh-huh. I'll give you another blue if you throw that one out there. Are you
I'm going to use the token,
okay?
but I'm not going to use the I saved your life.
Okay.
So I do need an extra yellow.
Okay.
Right? Converts it green
Yep,
to yellow?
exactly. You have the smolder in your eyes. Slight moist welling.
That's
I
a
was
whole lot of stuff.
So hoping for a triumph. So we have
I'm not so familiar with the failure dice for
the
Or
failure
X's
ones
or-
are X's.
the failures are X's. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not too bad. So disadvantage, but or threat, but not.
Okay, these cancel each other out. This is nothing.
So just for you, my friend.
You
No,
get
it's
2
2
successes.
2 successes.
I made a little chart
Oh.
work today. There you go.
Yay.
Now that's got both the Star Wars and
And
the Genesis dice pictures.
You
Okay.
got 2
At least my
successes.
quick. So 2 successes.
2
So
successes.
so immediately you give her the smolder, the slow roll smolder that you want her at your side, and immediately she just you saw her relax, and then all of a sudden she just like quiver of the lower lip, and she pounces on you, hands on your chest, and she's like, "Oh, Peter, wherever you go, I will follow. You have stolen my heart. You have taken the secrets of my love with you wherever you go." And she just starts spouting on you with literally the anime-style tears exploding in a sparkly cloud. As she wants to go with you. If you want her to go with you, this is what it is. You are choosing to take her as opposed to her manipulating someone to go along. You chose her, Pikachu.
So, for your safety, I cannot tell you all of the details, of course.
And she, I completely understand. I understand.
However, we have been together enough, and you are good enough at what you do, that I can confirm that it has to do with her.
And she gives you this quizzical look like, tell me more.
And how I fit into the country.
And she just gives you the Are you letting a little Russian sink into your voice? Okay. Especially with that,
And actually, I believe Russian is one of those languages where there's a noble I found.
Mm-hmm.
So just by the way that I said it,
Uh-huh.
it basically
aristocrat
says
level.
that.
And she's giving you the
As I said, it wouldn't be safe for you to know the truth. Yeah.
And then she just puts a warm hand on your heart and says, yet. But soon we will have no secrets from each other, kid. And then she gives this like look around the room. She looks around the room, you can see she's like looking where there's pre-packed bug-out bag luggage. There's steamer chests that are all packed and ready to go. And she looks back at you, how long until we have to leave?
An hour?
Like an hour or two.
Yeah, an hour or two.
Then we have time, and she gives you the look.
And we think.
And you see the little four-poster bed
Brown
sheet
chicken, brown
drops
cow.
down. As she rings for the help to get her luggage packed and sent over to the Skyport. Well, you guys are killing some time. Because your cab is still waiting with me. Okay?
Okay.
So fade to black. Screen swipe, the ship's all being finished, provisioned, out and loaded. Your engineer's sitting there. Holding the
Watching the
ship.
clock.
Your cabbie comes and puts up adjacent to your airship and lets you on. And he's got a ridiculously large bill of 100 and some odd scripts. Because he kept the meter running while you're upstairs.
Oh,
That's
that's most of his share of the.
100 script an hour? 100
Well,
script for 2 hours?
it's like
That's like 2 years' salary for these people.
well, it's normally only like a 20-minute drive, so it's a script a minute. And then extra. Well, how much do you pay him? He's ready to haggle. Other than he'll take whatever you give him. The haggle is you throw some bills as you're getting on your
I'll pay him,
throw some
I'll pay him
orphans.
20. I'll pay him 20, which is a good month's work.
Okay. He kind of like cheapskate. Okay, so you bring Hilda on the ship. Her luggage is there. She's got like 6 steamer chests worth of luggage.
Did she have this muscle luggage when we brought her?
She did not. She's been acquiring things.
I'm using my ether, the ones that I.
Oh, your Uber Ether goggles.
Mm-hmm. I'm like,
You flip your
I'm
goggles.
looking at her.
Go
I'm
ahead.
giving her the eyes, side eye.
Give me a perception check with 2 blue for your goggles.
I assume we're all standing around, right?
Are you? I mean, what are you guys doing?
No, we're getting right here. I mean, they're
Again.
coming back onto the ship.
It's going to be against 2 purple, but you know what? Turn one in purple red.
Go ahead
Just
and
because
add,
we make life interesting.
but I'm right there next to you, so go ahead and add 2 more blues.
So you two are like scrutinizing all of her steamer chests
And her.
and her.
Now I don't trust her because she's a spy.
It's gonna be 4 blues.
Very
Alright.
nice.
Oh fuck!
Beautiful.
Sorry, I couldn't help you with that.
All right. Well, so then I got 2 successes,
2 successes and
1
an
advantage,
And
and a despair.
So immediately you are eyeballing her like nobody's business as her and Peter come up. And you're eyeballing the one little bag she has and the one steamer chest she has her hand
I'm like
on.
flicking the little things
you're
on my goggles.
the whole time you were ignoring the Sherpas that are loading up the other 4 chests on the ship. Because you're looking at her knowing that she's a spy. Now with your goggles, you do clearly see she has some kind of ether weapon on her little sexy bandolier stocking. She's got some kind of ether blade weapon in her corset. And that she has some kind of communications device on her, it looks like. and some kind of in this little clutch she has some weird stick-shaped thing glowing with etherments.
Ooh, that has my interest.
As you like kick, you're obviously staring down her equipment.
Yep.
And by the way, Peter, just
And like
it looks like some kind of tube of lipstick that's got something ether-y going on with it.
right. I got my honor.
You gonna tell anyone about that?
Nope, it's pretty damn obvious that I'm giving her the
She's
wide
walking in
side eye.
I mean, about the things you saw.
Oh, I will after she's gone.
Yeah,
you
just-
guys know.
Once she's got her back turned, I'll talk about her. But
Yeah.
I got couth. I don't talks about the people in front of them.
She says, having blatantly stared at her while her goggles click.
I'll go to
Click.
8-man there after she's just like,
Mr. Zanzibar.
you wait, she's a spawn.
Oh,
Yeah.
there goes your secret.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I didn't think it was a doubt.
I have
Just
four
so
intellect.
you
Yeah,
know.
it's pretty obvious.
Just so you know, she's got quite a bit of ether on her right this moment.
Doesn't surprise me.
Be careful of that lipstick, I'm just saying.
Hey.
And then I'm going back to my engine room.
Okay.
And I'm like,
And what's our ethermancer doing?
Melting heads.
I don't think I'm doing anything
All the
right now. I'm
Sherpas
just
that are
getting
not
ready
leaving
for
the ship.
Yeah. All the Sherpas are now part of the
All the
ship.
Sherpas ninja vanished into the luggage.
We have tentacles on our ship now.
No.
Cthulhu
They're
Sherpas!
sentient.
Okay, so of course,
So I
That's
think yeah.
good, because most of the time Sherpas aren't.
as you see the workers come off the ship, and then the loading ramp goes up, and as soon as the ramp goes up, there's your screen swipe to props moving and over the leaving the city limits where the desert's encroaching upon the city. So you guys did decide you were going to go to
His thing
your
first,
contact
and then
location
doing the
first,
scary,
right?
the
And
scary
then go
lift
pick
off.
up the package
Yeah.
from the strange Frenchman.
The strange total Frenchman for him, Belloc.
He's totally
By the
Against
way,
all good
the
cops.
Ethermancer, give me a discipline roll against 2 red and a purple.
Red and a purple.
Just to maintain the structural integrity of his head.
No, I know.
No, I don't have any structural integrity.
This roll is because of that despair that was rolled earlier. Not the one he rolled, but the one the other guy rolled.
That looks like a total success. With,
Successes, definitely, but
looks like 1 disadvantage, and then just an ass load of. No, 2 disadvantages.
no, you're right. 1 disadvantage, 3 successes.
Okay, so with your successes and the disadvantage, you're not going to quite know which is which here, but you're remembering that you were told to pick up the crate and make sure not to jar it or explode it or anything like that, and take it to Quintessence, the city.
Okay.
And of course, you're recalling like an echo of the address where you're supposed to drop it off, almost like a mantra in your head.
That's normal.
Yeah.
That's okay, I know what we're doing.
Okay, so first you guys are setting
All
course
work
to
and no play makes
that
Jack
little
a dull
city
boy.
where you
All
know
work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
where you
Jack.
Well,
So-
you should know this.
Hilda's immediately wanting to just go to your room, and she brings one of the steamer chests with her to unpack the beer necessities, which basically she's showing you as she's unpacking. It's all of this lingerie she picked up locally, all the silks, because she felt almost naked with what she packed last time when she flew with you.
She was.
I was hoping that
She was.
I was hoping she was just bringing a lot of beer. The beer necessities would have been nice.
And you do notice when she opens the steamer chest, it's got a row of weapons inside it.
Very nice.
And of course, she thinks you're assuming her and her clothes, not her weapons. So go ahead, and who's going to give me the astrogation? Because the captain's still sleeping it off.
It's probably gonna be me.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an astrogation against 3 purple. Especially since.
I am going to excuse myself to the gunnery.
Okay, so you're going to let her get herself accustomed in your quarters, and now that she actually has things besides your clothing. Okay, so you go up to the gunnery tower. You know, you're dusting the windows because, of course, you know while you've been parked dusting.
Put on the goggles.
Okay, so you got the goggles on.
That was
check,
tragic.
check the gun,
Check the guns, which I actually now know how to use.
which you
Yay!
actually
Improvement.
Yeah, you're like, you know, I put enough range time in. I know how to use this. So you're seeing small little goat villages and little things. Anything that you see that's got a watering hole has got a small little cluster of families clustered around it. And you basically are relaying through the talking tube to your friend there of where you're supposed to be going. So how good of details are you giving him of what he's looking for? Do you give him the actual longitude and latitude?
Yeah,
Or you're just
I
like,
give
okay.
him the actual longitude.
Okay, so you get to add a blue dice to that.
Sorry, I had to update with the Sherpas are part of the ship now. Tentacles.
Yay, more
They're
tentacles.
sentient.
Do you want to have totally safe magic going through your brain? That
No!
will help you make better decisions?
Oh,
I mean,
You wanna know what happened last time that happened? My eyes were on fire.
But you know,
You got that up.
you wouldn't have this problem if you didn't remember that. So.
So what just
That's the point.
one roll is going to be for both locations of you plotting the nice course.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure.
Under pressure.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ice,
dun, dun,
ice,
dun.
baby.
That's right.
2 success and advantage.
There you go.
Yay,
So
we're
you're
not
like,
going-
immediately you're going to hit the
We're not
tree.
going to Versailles.
So you pulling up to over a
Look at me.
location.
I'm the captain now. We are not going back to Marseille.
So you come up to Peter that you're there, right?
Yeah.
As you guys are pulling up, and you look down and you notice the architecture here. It's very local still. It's the whole homemade Adobe style buildings, but it's actually structured, organized. Before you saw like goat herders and a little ramshack of
This
they
one's
built
plain.
right.
There's
There's actually a north, south, east, and west floor plan for this small little 8-building community, and the fact that it's got 3 water wells dug out on it that you're seeing. So and all of a sudden, so, you notice that there's people on rooftops that are waving, and they do have weapons on them. So it seems that they are very secure there. They have lookouts, weapons. You're getting a very pseudo.
Signal back.
Okay, how do you signal them?
They're like.
Yeah, there's like
signal.
Yeah, the light
The
click,
light,
click, click, click.
click, click.
Okay, so what do you signal them? We bring vodka. You come here to drink vodka and eat your borscht.
Goodbye. What's hello?
Hello in Russian.
Hello in Russian. Hello in
So I can
Russian.
say thank you.
Hello, hello. So you immediately pop back, the signal in proper Russian imperial style.
No.
No?
Not imperial.
Well, the old art. Just the
Just
The
sailor
Tsar's
version.
flag
The
drops,
regular-
unfurls to the side of the airship. What? I thought we were doing this today.
Okay, and you get the
Why?
basically they signal there's an area that's a little field where you can land. That you notice that this location has overlapping lines of fire from the scouts on the rooftops, and they basically wave you over and immediately.
It's fine. Our airship
Go
has
down to-
overlapping fields of fire too. We'll turn them into
Speak into the
paste.
tube down to where they want us.
Okay.
Alright, I'll land.
You land, and of course, I'm assuming you're coming down with the gun tower. So Hilda does the whole half-hearted, opens the door. Do you need me in this or no?
I always need you in everything that I do.
Aww,
Okay, so
such a charmer.
so she immediately jumps back in, and you're hearing her do the whole Master of Disguise thing, where she's coming out in the classic colonial style explorer gear, pith helmet, white shirt, khaki pants, poofy riding khaki pants, boots to die for.
I'm off.
And just enough buttons unbuttoned
And then.
Just
to add a blue dice.
Then.
Okay, so what do y'all do as you're landing?
I mean,
You guys just carrying on like Peter's business?
Yeah, it's like,
For the best of my knowledge, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to come here. If he wants us to go with him, I guess we can. But
For the most part, yeah, I think we're just getting ready to do a totally non-complicated rescue.
Yeah.
We
shipment
legit pick up a
thing.
package,
Yes.
drop it off into the middle of a maelstrom.
Uh-huh.
As one does.
one
Okay.
does.
So you come off, and immediately two gentlemen, they're wearing fairly rustic local clothing, even though their eye color and their skin color is immediately throwing it off that these men are not locals. And they give you the look, and they are definitely giving her the double look, like, ooh. And then finally they like,
So
pull.
it was a couple of weeks ago, but I'll say, what's his name from the tavern told me that I should talk to, and then the person I need to talk to.
Oh, and then immediately they give you they ignore her, like, oh, well come with us. And they're leading you into what looks like a goat shack at first, and then they basically open the door, and inside it's a fully furnished, where it should be pins for goats,
Right.
actually is the back end of someone's house. And they basically are welcoming you in and taking off their dusty garb and leaving it there. And you hear someone shout, "Don't let in the dirt!" in old Cossack Russian. And they basically look at both of you, and they just like silently look at each other, like, you go. We don't want to get yelled at.
Go in.
Okay, you go in, and immediately you're smelling this pipe tobacco. And
Do I recognize the pipe tobacco?
give me a perception roll. That's a good question. It's gonna be against 3 purple.
Yeah, see, my perception's only 2 greens. Yeah, I didn't notice that she was a spy.
2 purple, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
everyone around me gets extra.
Do I
dice.
have an extra blues for childhood memories?
I'll give it to you.
So that is
Disadvantage, and a threat, and a failure.
3 successes,
Yep.
even?
Yep. No, 4 successes.
No,
right?
three,
Because there's one.
That's a
one
threat.
failure. Yeah, but
Right,
there's
there's one failure.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't
These
see.
2 go. This is 4 minus 1, 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. You got
That
it.
is how math works.
Yep. That's why I figured. I'm like, I didn't print one up for you, so I was at work doing that for you. I was like, damn, I keep forgetting to make one of these. So immediately you do recognize it. I mean, if at first it feels like back at home in the winters when you smoke the pipe to warm up, but then all of a sudden you hear that voice and the grizzle in the voice and the tobacco smell, and it's familiar to you. As all of a sudden there's 2 chairs, whoever's sitting in the chair is their back to you, so you just see the graying hair behind you, and come in, sit. How can I help you? And immediately you sit down.
I sit down. Wait for her first, but sit
Okay.
down.
She's prepared to stand by your side while you sit, because
Okay.
she's like, I don't know what the situation is that I'm
Good
walking
plan.
into.
She'll stand
And-
behind me and I will sit.
Okay, and she will gladly, lovingly put the hand on your shoulder, as she's got.
And I'm looking at the back of his head?
Well, no, you're gonna be sitting facing it, so
Oh,
face
okay.
to face. And she's got her left hand on you with her weapon hand free at her side, in case she needs to kill someone to get out of this place. So immediately you see the face, and all of a sudden there's the Highlander style wobble, 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 as you see flashback to back in the day as a kid. Who is it sitting across from you? Like I threw that out there. You know this face. You know the grizzled voice. Maybe when it was younger and more robust.
And either a family uncle or another high-level staff person.
Hey, Roman, he's your cousin.
And he kind of gives you, and definitely gives your lady friend a look up and down, and he seems to not place your face.
Well, it has been a very long time.
Here, drink, bring out drinks. And immediately, one of the guys from the door immediately runs past you guys and comes back out with, some Turkish style coffee and some vodka, whichever your option is.
I can tell by your face that you do not recognize me, and perhaps that is for the best.
And he just like pulls out the pipe. I am old. My eyes are not what they used to be. Who are you that I should be recognizing? I apologize for this. As he then just like takes big, huge suck in the pipe and just like big smoke cloud between you two. Not offensive, but
Right.
very quizzical. Like he's thinking while he's exhaling to fill in the silence so you don't start talking yet until he's had a chance to think about it.
I am someone who has taken a vow to not speak my name until the appropriate ceremony.
And he kind of like squints at you, like he's trying to place what you're saying, and he's like, then you must be a very patient man to stand on ceremony, so to speak.
That was a family trait.
Oh, you say that, and he like chokes back what he's about to say. So what is your family name, my friend?
That is part of what I am not going to say.
And he kind of squints
Nudge,
at
nudge,
you.
wink, wink. Say no more.
And you're not really seeing
Even
it
the
except for the
mechanics
corner of
get
your
it.
eye. Of all of a sudden, Hilda starts to tense up a little, like maybe she's contemplating what you're saying too.
And she's like, oh snap!
That snagged me a big one.
As you just feel a slight pressure on your shoulder from her hand, as she's kind of like leaning into you because she's like thinking, you know. And he scoots forward, pulls out the chair that's to his side so the drinks can be put down, and he just like downs 2 shots of vodka in like no seconds flat. So what is it that I can do for you?
I was told by my
Cousin.
uncle in town, use that special uncle term, that you would know where the rest of the family was.
And he just takes his pipe and big, long, you see the glow coming out of the pipe. He's sucking so long and slow on the pipe. As he just comfortably leans back in the chair, looking over his shoulder and just big puff of smoke. And immediately as your eyes are following the motion of the smoke and where his eyes are leaning, you're noticing he's looking right back at a portrait of the Russian royal family. Now pretty much deceased Russian royal family. And you're noticing around her are smaller portraits of like the house staff who are practically family. And you actually, for a second, your eye catches on a picture of you as a young lad in one of the pictures. As he seems to be almost absently scanning these and looking back at you and scanning these photos, like trying to place your face as belonging to one of those in the portraits. And then and this time it's like straight up with the smoke, so it's not in between you guys. So, which half of the family are you looking for currently?
I don't get that reference.
Okay, basically you think he might be implying the military half or the royal half.
Oh.
Because
Oh no, I'm good, thank you.
as there is, there might be a few of the generals out there doing their thing. Maybe even like guerrilla action back in the old country, or the royals. He's not quite sure if you're underground or if you're royal underground. He's trying to place you as what exactly you're trying to catch in on. And Hilda's listening on both of you guys quite intently. And of course you can paraphrase too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the exact words are hard to come by at the moment. 'Cause
Okay, so I am thinking that most of the children in the royal family got a specific toy at some point.
oh yeah, there would always be the big Christmases where distinct items were given to each.
Right. Where the toy would not be able to be identified to an individual person, but at whatever
family member?
a family, yeah, like
Fabergé eggs.
Don't up to the Sardina.
So what was the specific toy that you were given that?
I think almost all of the royal kids would have had a specific type of royal horse,
Okay.
a specific breed.
That at some Christmas they were given
Where
this
somebody-
this proud
right.
stallion or mare.
Where somebody who isn't there wouldn't know whether or not that would be a military horse because the military didn't
Yeah.
use them. But in this context, it's obvious family.
Okay, I would
But
go.
Hilda wouldn't know, still wouldn't be able to figure out which one.
Very nicely played. So basically, someone would have had to be there to get the weapons. Okay. So what was the horse that you had that was very distinct?
With the owner?
Oh, the designers, the Germans. So it would be
You can just give me a color or.
the horses with hooves is white as the snow.
An albino horse?
No, just the hooves.
Ooh, that's good. He rolls triumph. So we also have 3 despair. So, but we do have
Yeah.
1 success at triumph.
Disadvantage.
Three.
Wait, 3
threat.
despair?
3 threats.
Holy crap!
That'd be horrifying.
Immediately, his brain was working 3 great ideas.
Has a stroke immediately.
So immediately when you say it, his eyes
stroke.
turn from the photo, snap onto you instantly, and all of a sudden you follow his gaze right to the one photo that it shows of like Christmas where everyone's got horses lined up in the background, and then he looks at you and just starts biting down on his pipe mouth bit. And you just see he's just like chomping on the bit like a horse practically. He wants to say something. And he just looks at you, nonchalantly says, "You don't say," and blows smoke right in Hilda's direction out of the side of his mouth. You're getting the idea that he's wanting to know if it's safe to talk in front of your friend, basically.
I was hoping the fact that he actually wasn't talking in front of my friend kind of implied that.
Well, he's wanting
He's taking your
confirmation.
cue.
Bareback horse.
Ah. Okay. And they had white hooves.
Yes.
What I was looking for.
Uh-huh. He's just waiting for you like a subtle nod just to prove that yes, not to talk in front of her since you're saying something so
Right.
specific instead of just throwing it out there.
I'll kind of go.
And he will, basically nods back to you nonchalantly as he's pretending to gesture to Hilda to have some drink. As he gestures for you to stand as he starts to get up all
Here.
old man noises.
Go over to him and offer to help
And
him.
he gladly takes your hand.
That way my face is also much closer to his,
Mhm.
and he sees my eyes, and he sees my features.
Oh, you have a feeling he triumphed.
Yeah.
He recognizes you now that you said that. As he just kind of, you're as respectful a man as you were a boy back then. And just kind of under his breath. Pats you in an unclely way. He says, "Please enjoy some beverages as we go look at some photos of the old country."
Oh,
And he
thank you.
basically gestures, with heavy hand on your shoulder since you still helped him up, and he still has your hand to head over to the pictures. And as he goes over to the first picture, and it's just like the royal family would have been like 5 years before any of the coups, good times, people happy, and he's just like he starts immediately spending like 15 minutes going over back in the day stories. Just subtle, open to anyone stories that everyone knows of. And of course, Hilda sits down in your seat and she's sipping the coffee, adding a whole bunch more sugar, sipping the coffee, a little bit of vodka, sipping the coffee. As he's taking pictures very gingerly off the wall and handing them to you to explain the stories. And you notice these pictures, by the way, have big major hooks holding them on the wall. I mean, there could be a bomb going off and these wouldn't fall off the wall. And he's just like, pulls in close to you. He's got his arm around you, very, very, very familiar-wise, as he pulls up a picture and says, and this was taken months before the coup happened. And we can only hope that some of the family survived. And he holds the photo up kind of high over your head so it can clearly be seen you're looking at a photo, and then he brings it down. And then he immediately flips that photo backwards. And there's text written on the back.
Okay.
And basically, it's a series of locations, longitude and latitude, but it's in some kind of code.
Okay.
And it's basically referring to, give me a perception. As you guys are in the airship just chilling, all of a sudden one of the Sherpas pop out of nowhere.
Get back in your Sherpa hole.
They have holes now?
It's going to be against
Just find a hole.
three purple. But I will give you a blue since he's guiding your hand practically. He is pointing out what you need to look at.
Ooh.
The purples are dangerous.
I mean, he succeeds.
Those are
Uh-huh.
It's just 2 threat and 3 success.
so that's 3 success, 2 advantage, minus
4 threat.
4 threat. So 2
Okay.
success, 2 threat.
Okay, so immediately you're reading this list, and almost your eyes all of a sudden unciphers itself to you because you're getting the mix of what it is, and it's talking about locations of camps the royal families would go to, and you're getting the idea that there's 4 military camps that basically are using the old royal summer, winter, spring, and fall cottages as their
Okay.
bases. Unfortunately, while you're talking about this, you kind of say something just under your breath by accident, and when you do, you notice Hilda is paying a lot more attention than she was before. Just the way your voice quivered when you were speaking with him in code. Immediately, she's got the perky ears of, oh, really? I mean, she almost gives you the... And she's paying intense attention to the two of you.
Okay. While I'm muttering and whispering, say
Mhm.
that I trust her with my life. I cannot trust her with everyone. I cannot yet trust her with everyone else. It's not mine.
Ooh. To which he gives you the look and solid pat in the back with a unclely brotherly squeeze of you're showing good judgment. That you can't sacrifice anyone besides yourself. He is definitely approving of that attitude. Thankfully, she rolled 2 failures and a threat. Obviously, you notice as you say this thing, you kind of glance over your shoulder, and the both of you literally do this double take, as out of the corner of your eye, you're both seeing her intensely scooch to the edge of her chair with her saucer and cup, listening in on you guys, obviously trying to pay attention. Whoa, totally not wanting to look like she's paying attention. She's got her legs up to one side, leaning closely. But she's just not picking up what she wants to pick up, or as much as she's hoping. So he then pulls you back to the wall and pulls a picture of your mother when she was a child.
Oh, one more question about the 4 coordinates. Were
Uh-huh.
any of them in Alaska?
No, those were all
Okay.
back in the
Those
old
were all
country.
back in the old country. Okay.
So from what you were looking at that, you believe those are basically secret cells
Mhm.
based out of the old royal, either the towns
Right.
or the actual vacation homes,
Okay.
which vacation homes are basically
Right.
compounds.
Right.
And they're inside the compounds.
Mhm.
The cells are inside the compounds.
Most likely.
So they're in cells.
Yeah, the cell is within a cell. In cellception.
Are we gonna go to Russia to find incels? This is ridiculous.
Oh no,
So-
I actually think that they've all
That's
been taken over by
insulting.
now.
As he pulls the picture of your mother down, and he's talking all third persony about she was a beautiful child, her children would be proud of her, she was a strong woman to the end. I heard that when her end came, she faced it with honor and dignity befitting the class that she is.
Aw.
Unfortunately, the men who ended her life have not been captured and dealt with properly.
I know one of them.
As he flips the photo over,
Mm-hmm.
and you see him like squeeze the photo so the cardboard backing opens a little,
Mhm.
and there's a little sheaf of paper that slides down a little that you could slide out. And he basically nods at you when you basically gesture toward the paper, and he nods for you if you want to take it.
Okay, I'll take the piece of paper.
Okay, so you whip it out. Give me a stealth to see if you can pocket it without her noticing. It's gonna be a two red and two purple. You may want to use
She's
one of those
really
light side
trying.
points. This is the perception's her spy thing.
This one's for all the points.
Yeah.
I have no stealth.
Well,
That
there's
is one of the
always
career points.
your destiny points.
Nobody say anything funny. My phone is over there charging.
And he will provide you a blue, by the way, because he's there blocking with his body.
Okay, flip over this.
Okay?
Against, you said 3 purple,
It's against 2 purple and 2 reds.
2 purple, and 2 red.
She's pretty,
Perception's kind of her
Mhm.
spy thing. And you don't forget to add the blue. Okay. Is there anything you're doing that could add a blue? Think about it. Here, I'll throw one out there for you. You could start singing the national anthem. I'll throw that out there. That could be this kind of moment between these old timers. Looking, talking about the old country.
how about just an old Russian song as
That
opposed to
works.
the national anthem?
Okay.
Which
Row,
would be,
row your boat.
So do you start singing?
little lamb, little lamb.
Oh, no. I will actually not even be pretending
Uh-huh.
to cry at her picture. And
Ooh. Okay, I'll give you another blue for that. As you're basically letting your emotions,
letting my
you've been
emotions
kept in
in
check.
for so long as I'm reaching out to that
Picture of your
of-
mother. As all of a sudden you're seeing a flashback and only an ominous third person idea of how her death happened, because you don't even really know for sure.
Well, I thought, what's his name? I know what's his name was involved.
Yep. But you don't know if
but
she was
you
like
don't know-
executed
oh,
on the
yeah.
ground or taken out for firing squad or hung. You just know this ominous people probably walked by there. Yes! It looks like a good roll because there's that. What's
Triumph.
the yellow one there?
That's a triumph.
Best
This
destiny point use of the day.
is-
So those are 2 are failures, so X's.
So these and
Don't forget about this.
these are successes, so those cancel out. So a triumph and an advantage.
Okay.
Oh no,
No.
a triumph and 2 advantages.
Well, no. That's
Oh.
that green one takes out the red one. Remember, that's the threat.
Oh, that's
symbol.
a threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So a triumph, a
success.
success, and an advantage.
And you immediately just break down and start weeping, and like nobody's business, you fold and tuck and gone. No, she did not notice jack diddly. And basically he's giving you this like, he leans in and he's like rubbing your back very uncle-y of I understand. It was the nation cried with her death. We all weep still in our hearts for her passing. But And he immediately, like, makes a big show of turning around. He's like, let us not cry for those who have passed, but to celebrate those who have passed.
Yes.
And is there any questions that I can answer for you? As he's like playing off, he hasn't told you jack diddly.
Just seeing you and hearing stories of the old country is more than what I could have expected.
And he just has this sad look, and he looks at you, and then he comes up to your lady friend and puts a hand on her shoulder, kind of a heavy hand on her shoulder, because you see her kind of squirm, and she's pretending not to be listening. She screeches back, and he just looks at you, and then looks at the portraits behind you, and one other thing. And he kind of gives her shoulder the double squeeze, just kind of barely noticeably. Walks over to the wall where he's got the royal family crest. And you see he reaches up, and it takes him a second because he has to kind of step on. He pulls some books down and steps on the books. Pulls down a saber that's up there. And he says, "Is there any chance that you're going to the old country?" And he kind of gives you wink, wink. Wink, wink.
It is my greatest desire.
Something tells me you'll be in your airship will get to the old country before my old bones will get out of this house. And I have a favor. An old friend of mine, from what I've heard, is still alive out there. And he basically gives your christened name. The name that only family would really know. He is an old friend of the family's. If you see him, would you give him this sword that belonged to his father? And he hands you this old ceremonial saber.
It would be my honor.
And of course you realize when you touch it, it looks old and tarnished, but it's immaculately clean. It's just nice varnished tarnish. It's not an actual rust or anything. As you pull it out,
Patina.
Yeah, patina. You pull the blade out a little, and you realize it's got your family motto along the blade, and your royal crest is part of the hilt. It's basically your father's ceremonial sword, which could be really dangerous in the wrong hands, but they're in your hands right now. And then he just kind of for a second gets almost misty, and then the tears disappear. So where is it you're heading to next? If I might be so bold to inquire. And he's basically asking Hilda. And Hilda just gives this quack and looks at you.
Well, I need to think about whether I actually want to take this sword or not.
Okay. You could politely reject it and say it's too valuable of a thing that you think it's safer here than on an airship going across the world. As you're holding this and you're feeling your family
Come on,
legacy.
Nate. You gotta take it.
Throw yourself on that sword.
It's so not safe.
It's so great. The
It's
most
so
dangerous
good.
thing ever.
Oh, not
Because our group
safe.
so far has been all
Yeah,
about
you're
safety.
like all about
Everything
Trust
we've
me,
done so
we
far.
have more than enough secret compartments in the fucking airship.
At this point, the Sherpas have enough secret compartments.
As the compartment opens, Sherpa,
Closes again.
Sherpa hungry. Sherpa hungry.
Throw him a broken orphan.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, we're
Hank
terrible.
comes out.
It's been obvious that I've
Tentacle
been
comes
looking at
out.
the sword for far too long and being far too quiet.
Uh-huh.
I'll look at him and say, I'll make sure it gets in the right hands.
As soon as you say that, you see his lip hint of quiver, but his chin come out and his gut suck in.
Actually, the English translation is, we will make sure.
like the
As-
royal we.
As you see his buttons pulled tight as his chest is coming out, and he's proudly standing in front of a proud royal member, and you just see the pride in his look is like one little tear starts to escape, and then he goes and sucks it back down. As you just feel this pride that
Can't
he's
afford to
shooting
lose
out.
any water in this desert.
As he just gives you the nod. As you just feel this overwhelming, opulent pride. And Hilda, who rolled shitty, is looking back and forth like, I don't get it.
World's greatest
missing
spy.
Won't we dare?
And she looks up and, yes. And she just puts a hand on your hand because she's super proud of you. So, you know, basically, he basically asks again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but where is it you're heading?
Well, first we need to go to another nearby village to pick something up. And then
Are you going to tell him the city of Quintessence?
north.
North. That gets his attention. How far north? Immediately, he's thinking something completely different than what you're thinking.
He's thinking Russia.
He's
Arctic
thinking
Circle.
Alaska.
Arctic Circle. Eventually, very far north.
I have a grandson who I'm wishing to learn a trade. Would you be willing to take him on as a servant on your ship?
I could use a lab rat.
What type of trade is he wanting to learn?
He is of that young age that all young men are interested in, the airships with the flying and the seeing the world. Nothing he would learn here. I wish for him to learn some experience in the world.
Well, in that case, I will not take him on as a servant. I will take him on as use the Russian word for apprentice.
Okay. And he kind of like
Which also
quiver the chin. It's like, I'm so proud of you, man. And he's just, you know, and you know, one of the guys pops back up like, yeah. It's like, my grandson, prepare him to travel and put his belongings on the ship. Our dear friend here is going to take the boy and teach him to be an airshipman. And the guy's like looking at you, looking at her, looking at him, looking at you, and he's like, what did I miss? And he's just like, and the guy turns around immediately, steps off. And just you hear him grumbling as he
Can
goes.
you
Like,
have her make a failure to put the dots together and think he's actually a prince?
The grandson?
I don't know, does she recognize the crest on the hilt of the sword?
Nobody showed her the crest.
she hasn't seen it yet.
But that would fit the details as well as anything else that we've talked about.
Yeah. Give me a deception roll for you to help say something under your breath to make an implication or steer the conversation between you guys. I will definitely take that. I will give you a blue dice because you got some inside track there, and it's going to be against 2 red and 2 purple though. 2 skills she specializes in: seeing through deceptions and listening in on shit. Did you want to go for no?
This will be a straight up honest. If she makes it, she makes it. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Okay. I can seriously dig that.
Looks like she makes it.
Let's see.
So the X's are failures.
So it's a wash in terms of failures. And it's a lot of disadvantage.
So remember, the stars or the starbursts are success. So X's and starbursts take each other out.
Looks like just one disadvantage. 2
So
disadvantage.
this two,
No, it
No.
would be the X's that
it's
take out the
these
stars.
2 of those,
Uh huh.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
And the purple
And then-
X and the red X take out the 2 starbursts.
The purple X.
See how there's an X and a
Oh, here.
yeah, that one, and the red X will take out the green's successes.
Oh, okay.
So you have 2 threats. So you didn't fail, so I'm saying she didn't succeed, but
Okay.
she is picking up something is being said. her ears are twerking up. That there's some conversation within conversation about the boy. Something is something. As she's
Something
just like,
important has happened with the boy.
yes, and she will gladly offer to once this young 14-year-old boy comes out, spitting image of your uncle when he was that age. Apparently, the grandson doesn't fall far from the grandfather tree, and she immediately will sit up, finish her tea, and say, "Would you like me to take him to the ship?" So she can talk to him alone.
I would not want to impose upon our host. I think it's unfortunately time that we must leave.
And he will immediately give you this hand on the shoulder with a big squeeze. You can feel like the Russian bear hug in this squeeze on your shoulder. As please make sure to let his aunt know when he's arrived safely wherever you land. And he goes over and he scribbles down some telegraph numbers and it's like, the first number is for myself, the other two numbers are for his aunt and for his mother. If you could please keep us in the loop.
What is his name?
His name? And
Anton.
Dmitri.
And he will immediately say it is Anton because that one works. She beat you. Anton, Dmitri, Pietro.
Ivanov.
And basically he will give you all of your leave to go. To which we have screen swipe. You've got more luggage now building up in the hull of the ship. As the airship is puttering to the next drop-off location, as you're looking, because you're back in the tower, I'm assuming, do you bring the boy with you?
Yes.
Okay. Boy just silently doesn't leave your side. He doesn't know who you are for Adam, but he just knows he's supposed to be following you to learn.
So, let's see what you've learned. What languages do you know?
I speak many languages. I speak Egyptian. I speak Russian. As you can tell, I speak English. And he breaks something on the control panel real quick. And
Fix something on the control panel.
And I also am learning to speak Italian.
Huh? Very good.
Unfortunately, my Italian teacher was trying to sleep with the cook and got fired. No one has seen him since.
That sounds pretty Italian.
That's a very. That's a spicy meatball.
That's a little more Swedish.
So I've been told I should
Spicy meatball.
quietly watch everything you do and learn. And I've been taught that you cannot learn when you are talking, and he just starts going on this nervous chatter for most of the trip as you guys all of a sudden camera swipes and he's still talking, his volume goes back to normal. And you notice that first thing you guys spot as you're coming up to this farm where your friend tells you you're picking up the package, you're noticing bit of airship. Bit of airship. The house is covered in airbags from multiple airships sewn together to make extra covering for it. Looks like wreckage was.
Perception.
Give me a perception roll. And don't forget your blue dice for the goggles.
And don't forget your
And
extra two blue dice.
for
Extra
the
two blue
ship.
dice for
For the
being
ship.
with me.
Oh. 2 for you?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh. So that
I
would be
know awareness.
4 total? For
Yeah.
one more for the ship? I need extra blue.
The ship is all decked out to make sure you see things now. You've got all the rearview mirrors.
Versus.
It's gonna be a red, not purple. I'm flipping on the dark side point down. Taking some destiny into action here.
Swear to God, if this comes out as a negative result, I'm
Yeah!
gonna fucker. Ow! How do you do this?
It's almost like I call it. So you have.
1, 2, 3.
So that purple threat takes out one of your advantages. But you have nothing but successes all day.
And to advantage.
And 2 advantage,
So
but
plus
a
one-
despair.
So 3 success, 2 advantage, and a despair.
So you're immediately surveying the area, and the boy is still you're tuning him out and looking, and you're realizing there's the wreckage of it basically total from the view that you have
Right.
up there. It looks like 2 fighters and 2 airships ripped each other to pieces. From the way
Boy, look down there. See what that is? Those are dead airships. I recommend that you be quiet.
And as soon as you say that, all of a sudden the boy leans forward to look where you're pointing, unaware that he's putting his hand right on the gun's controls.
Oh, shnikey.
And all of a sudden, as you're pointing, because you're busy focusing, picking up the pieces, because you're realizing one of the airships and 2 of the fighters seem to have been together. That airship came to a slow crash landing. You see this gouge where that ship crashed really slow. The other airship was split in the air and fell down in multiple pieces and probably took out the 2 fighters with it. Like maybe one of the fighters may have kamikazed into it. And as soon as you're looking, the boy leans over and you just get the ba-da-da-da-da of the gun going off, arcing into one of the wreckages, and then you just see shrapnel explode from the wreckage and goats go flying out of the shadows around the wreckage. Because the goats were hiding in the wreckage.
Just
And
as the
immediately-
prophecy foretold.
As you discharge the weapon, people come running out of one of the little huts and they're just like, and one of them has got a weapon over his head, like he's threatening you guys with
Oh
a
no,
weapon.
Tusken Raiders!
Do we still have the pretty flashbangs?
You do have the pretty flashbangs.
Okay, take the pretty flashbangs, light them, throw them away so that way it looks like we were just calling people there and we weren't actually shooting at them.
Okay,
And
so
turn it kind of into a fireworks display.
so you start shooting those off out of little launch tubes that are
Right.
built in there, and immediately the boy is enamored of. Oh, we get to do this. You know, totally like, oops, I touched the gun.
Look at him.
Look!
It's what
You! Back to the cabin.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And he goes just sadly going down the ladders. As immediately you see the guy on the ground, especially you guys, when the discharge happens, it wakes all of you up.
I mean, I'm flying.
You're just like, why are we shooting?
When?
So go ahead and give me a piloting roll if you're gonna land.
Okay.
And as this guy's like aiming his rifle effortlessly at your ship because you're a floating bus, you know for a fact your armor could take the shots with no words.
Yeah, it's small arms.
But all of a sudden you're hearing the as all of a sudden the cool parade lights. You're practically hearing da 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 da.
Like, oh man.
We were saving those for Oktoberfest. So go ahead and give me your piloting roll as you're seeing the wreckage is just responding to the gunshot, is creaking, smashing sounds, and you're seeing poofs of dirt and goats everywhere.
Goats.
Goats go
Goats in
everywhere.
various
Goats,
states of
but
matter. Solid, liquid, gas, all sorts of goat.
Goat plasma. Both the blood kind and the matter kind.
Lots of
Just
every
everywhere.
goat.
So are you gonna come in for a nice landing or just like running a landing?
Oh, I'm gonna, you know, we got this going. We got all this going. Oh, I'm gonna showboat.
Okay.
How difficult.
It's just too purple.
I'll show you a wash.
Oh yeah.
Yep, a wash.
So immediately you're feeling the ape man of Zanzibar. You know what it is your primal side is responding to the fireworks.
You're not supposed to do that
Your
while you're
beast,
driving.
as you're driving on the till, all of a sudden your hide part, you just feel your veins bulging down your arms as your primal side wants to come out and do things. You see the goats blow up. You see the carnage going off. You're tasting the blood rush in your mouth as you're biting down on your lip.
Coppery.
Go.
And immediately you just slam down the landing. When you do, you hear this horrible scraping sound. As apparently there might be some
Oh, there
rocks
goes the Sherpa.
just under the silt layer of sand as you're skidding to a halt, and all of you are feeling that chalkboard feeling in your back teeth as this. Because there must have been more wreckage down there and you're just scraping against.
I get
As
on
the boy falls down the rest of the way down the ladder.
I get on the voice, but what the blooming hell is going on up there?
Hilda's bouncing out of her bed and rubbing her bum.
Ground's
What the bloody hell are you doing?
We
Rex is
shot.
haunted.
We shot the goats and they crashed us.
Goat magic.
We lost against the goats.
It's not goat magic. This wreckage is haunted.
Now,
So
by
slowly,
goats.
So basically, what you're saying is that we lost the first game of Goat Simulator.
Yes.
As your airship skitters to a halt, as this guy's got his old antique rifle. Basically, it's brand new. It's just
Is this
in the
still
desert.
pointing at us? Because I think he can even go like, oh
It's
god.
pointing at you as you come to a screeching halt. As he's pointing right at the bulkhead as it stops.
That's what I get for a wash.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You killing my goats! You killing my goats!
You or me?
Not him.
You're still with the gun, so it makes sense that the Ethermancer or the mechanic would come out.
Oh, the mechanic's coming out. What the bloody hell is going on?
Did you see what happened to your goats?
You know what just happened to my ship?
So you come out and start screaming about the ship.
He's like, yeah.
As soon as you do, he's like waving his shaky hands are waving this dirty, rusty rifle in your face.
How close is he?
He's like feet away from you. As soon as that hatch opens, you come out. He is running over you, almost like he knows what he's doing, pointing that thing in your face.
Almost like he knows what he's doing.
And that's the scarier part.
See this? Do I have
It's
advantage?
just below you at this
The
point.
biggest threat to the best swordsman in the world is not the second best swordsman.
It's the worst swordsman in the world.
It's the one that trips and skewers you by accident.
Okay, I'm gonna take some negatives because of our original entrance,
Okay.
but I will go back to the we're here.
How is that a negative?
But you're gonna slide outside the airship to get there
He
faster.
said goats everywhere. And
Well, part of the reason we skidded is because we landed on goats also.
it's just a red snare.
I'm not because that might startle them.
As there's
I look out,
But I'm going to say we're-
smeared across the sand like, oh,
As there's this
kebabs.
goat
I feel
crawling
kebabs.
with no backlight.
Oh, stop.
No, it's actually
So-
okay because I know necromancy.
So he
That's not an
so
improvement.
he's pointing his gun in your face.
And I'm like, whoa!
Are you familiar
We're
with
here
Shub
for-
Negara?
Put the bloody weapon.
Charm, we're here to pick up the.
Don't worry. Once again, I'll
Okay.
fix this problem.
Sorry for the entrance. It was. We were told that we needed to announce
As
ourselves.
you're shouting, as you're coming down the stairs, but you give me a what are you gonna do to keep him from panic firing?
What are they
The
called?
invaders are here again.
Just get them all
See.
together. It's like that's how Shogoths are made. You know, we're good.
Pile of mini goats.
And we take those to Russia.
Coercion. Deception.
You're right. Get a face full of root beer, you piece of shit.
Or charm, or...
I thought you were done, so I was gonna finish it. No.
I'll even take a mechanics roll if you want to look at his gun to see if it's functional. Okay, so you're gonna use your mechanics and you're like, whoa, whoa, and this gun's like waving in your face.
Against...
It's gonna if you're gonna do that, it's gonna be 3 purple. And you know what? Let's make life interesting. I am off the board in Destiny points.
Dum dum dum.
That's way too whack.
I like how she's all pale.
Triumph!
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, not so good on the successes.
Yeah,
I got my money's worth out of
so...
that red.
So, yeah,
It's about as good as you can
I
get
got...
without getting a despair.
Triumph, but I got 2
The last 3
advantages
entries on that have been
and
about
3 failures.
Okay, so what would you like to do with your 2 advantages?
I'm
This is a
gonna give
horrifying
him a
That'd be
blue.
great.
Okay. So with your
Mm.
triumph, you know for a fact, looking at this gun has never been oiled in a decade. There's no way in the ether hells of ether it could function properly unless you're wanting to use it as a wall prop. You're seeing the crust of rust on the bolt action that's just walked over. You're seeing where the corrosion's eaten through pieces of it.
Okay.
Crust.
Again.
I'm like, put the useless weapon away.
And he's like, "You're a useless weapon."
Like,
Point!
like I've got the big old freaking wrench in my hand.
I know, but you're not the wrench, so I think you gotta take the L on that one.
So at that point, Peter comes diving
We're up on the
out.
deck with like Patrick's 7.2.
We were told
She's
we were
like-
supposed to make an entrance by the delivery.
Throwing a
blah, blah,
Monty
blah,
Python
we
skit.
came from the city. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. What? And he swings the gun so fast, all of a sudden you see the stock and the rifle go clink. As he's squeezing it back together, you're realizing the bands have rusted off and he has to hold the barrel onto the stock.
Can I just
So,
hit it with my
charm
wrench?
against.
I'm gonna charm
You
him
can
with
hit
my
it with a
wrench.
I want to hit his gun with my wrench.
Okay, and roll your
That was
charm
great.
as she's doing this.
Great. That
This
has
week-
that has fixed the gun. Congratulations. It's so broken.
I'm not trying to fix the gun.
It's so broken that you
So
hitting
it's
it with
your
a
melee
wrench.
against
Step
two
one of any
purple, a
engineering
black
manual.
because you're
Hit it.
aiming, because you're aiming for the gun specifically.
Percussive maintenance.
Against the purple.
It's gonna be against two purple.
Alrighty.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Fuck, I'm
Cheese
gonna
and
miss.
rice.
Okay, so,
Equally effective purple.
yeah, so I got two
You got a fixed
failures and 3 advantages.
I got 4 successes.
Great. You
So
say-
immediately you
All these freaking yellows now, and I can't do shit with it.
you immediately coming
Roll
out,
more greens.
pulling his attention, and
I
you're
don't get
calming
any
him
more
down.
dice.
Well, all of a sudden, Scrapper whips out her wrench and she's dueling with him. You have dueling rifle versus wrench.
Occasionally the
She's
gun
just
changes
like,
into 2 parts.
There's a
You
gym killer
realize
with
this
no
force-
jugs.
It's just as likely for the bullet to go off and kill all 3 of
There's
us.
no bullet gonna fire out of that
What is
thing.
this,
No, no, no.
JFK
It's
golden
not gonna
bullet?
come
It's gonna
out
kill
of
all
the
3 of
rifle.
us?
It's now a
It's
pipe
just
bomb.
going to blow
Does
up.
it even have a bullet in it to begin with?
It might.
It might have 20
Probably
years
does not.
ago. You know, it's the same
Yeah,
bullet.
it's wedged in there.
It's
from
now an
rust.
explosive. So immediately he's like wiggling his gun around trying to avoid her pushing his. Tell your friend to calm down. I'm the one who's losing the proverbial shit. Why are you shooting my guns?
Why are you wrecking my ship?
First you crash on my goats, now you shoot the ones that lived?
Actually, it was the other way.
That was the other. Oh, yeah.
It was the other way.
Negative points.
That you were grumpy and that we should announce ourselves before we came.
Thank you for announcing yourself.
We
You're
do
welcome. No.
percussive announcement.
Why don't we continue our business?
What are you
Impressive
doing here? I don't understand any of this. First ships come falling out of the sky, now you come falling out of the sky. Who taught you how to fly? You owe me for goats! And he points back to the scared goats. He's like, that goat won't give milk for many moons!
True.
How much will you pay for goats?
I don't know.
If we got that goat to give you milk, will you give us what we're supposed to be getting here?
If you can get that goat,
Is
he
it?
points
I
to
want
a
to make
white
sure.
goat.
I want to make sure it's an actual goat,
You-
and it's not a billy goat.
You look.
I don't
and
care
you
what it is.
realize, you realize it is not a female
You're
goat. It is a male goat.
Not that goat. That goat. You don't want the milk that comes out of that goat, unless you do. I've heard they're weird.
Because you've been succeeded charming, him, so he's like bonding. He's
Bonding,
bonding.
but you're still paying for the gun.
Why are you here?
We
Are
were
you
told
here for
we had a
goats?
pocket.
You here for goats.
Package?
How many kebabs can you get out of a single goat?
How big are the kebabs?
Did
Sounds like it goes.
the Ethermancer send you?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why we had the whole announcement stuff. You know how weird they are.
That's true.
As the ether mancy comes walking out.
He's like, I resemble that.
I put the tentacles back in my bag and I say, I resent that.
And as you come out, and he's like, so first you pay for goats, then I take you to package.
What if we could
What if we traded
make
you with
the goats
Sherpas?
better?
Oh God, no.
How would
We
you
can
do
make
this?
that goat female, right?
Like, there's lots of goat parts. You know, like what?
I'm not for goats.
Did we actually kill any of their goats?
No, you just guys are crazy.
Oh, okay.
There's no
that's-
actual goat
that's
fatalities.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Like you told us that goats went flying. We just
Well,
kinda
they were
assumed.
running because they were
Well,
hiding in the shadows.
That is normal for them because these are the pega goats. And they go flying when they are pet.
Can we help the farmer and bring the goats in for us?
Yes, yes. Mind rape works on them.
That's what we call the spell now. Go ahead and do your ethermancy. By the way, you are going to get a free upgrade to your
Okay.
spell. I'm not telling you why, but you're getting a free upgrade.
This is a terrible idea. What am I
Everything
rolling
has gone
against?
horrible.
So it's just going to be 3 purple, 2 basic, and 1 black, because you're wanting to do area effect of
Yeah.
all the goats and tell the goats go
Goats
back.
just go back.
Go back.
Back.
So you're
Come
whipping
back.
out your ethermancy.
Yes.
The ethermancy is really, really answering your call today.
These are ether goats.
We have 2 triumphs.
2
2
triumphs.
triumphs. And hold on. One more die. So
He's the goat whisperer.
All of you guys are in awe, including the shepherd guy and his wife who goes and is like poking one of the goats, and they literally are all just swarming into lines.
I want them all to glare at the guy that
doing-
fired the
they
weapon.
start doing
As they walk by, just look at the
And all of the goats are giving you nasty, weird goat eye. They're like that
goat eye?
hourglass goat eye.
I'm just standing like at the viewpoint of the ship. There's like a 10. Just going
kid.
black.
It's gonna haunt that child.
As he's looking in like shock and awe as you're doing your and the goats
Oh
are
no, he's not doing that. I'm
In
almost
unison.
certain he's just.
as the goats are all cooperating, and he's like, okay, but go like okay, goats, yeah. And you see the boy come over, start putting the pins, walls together, and he's like, follow me.
Yes.
And he basically is taking you to one of the little wreckages where there's a little bit of parachutes covering.
I'm
It's just-
checking the ship.
The revolution
Go and
begins
give me
at
a
midnight.
mechanics roll, 2 purple. And he
That's how
says,
you whisper.
so
Goat army.
you were sent to pick up the package. I don't know what it is, but it took me 3 days to dig it out. And he starts pulling off these parachutes like tarps.
1 success.
And you see a wooden crate. It's about a good 10 foot by 12 foot by 10 foot. And it's got iron bindings around the corners and edges. It's a super reinforced crate. And basically it's saying handle with care in like 20 languages.
Good, we're good with that.
Fragile.
Fragile.
And he's like,
My
Boy,
fa-
get over here! You said you speak
It's
Italian.
my favorite wine.
so take it away. And
Okay.
he's like looking at you,
Great.
expecting. He's giving you this look like you're gonna pick it up any second now. Pick it up.
I'm gonna look at it, magic like, and see what it is that we are taking.
Give me a perception roll.
Perception. What is perception based off of?
It's basically your cunning,
Okay, that's not too bad.
and add 2 black to that roll. Almost the same reason you just upgraded your roll. You're getting 2 black to your perception.
What am I rolling against?
It's gonna be against 3 purple.
I would like to upgrade.
Would you like to upgrade? Okay.
Wait. It's a perception. Add 3
Two.
blue.
Well, you're away from the ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As she's looking at the ship, going, "What did you do to my ship?"
Okay, that's not terrible.
By the way, I got a success. 1
Success. You see that it's just 4 points of damage you've taken. It's mostly just fender work.
1 success.
1 success.
I'm working on it.
Something about the ripped up words on the side seems really familiar to you. Reminds you of something from the back in Quintessence,
Okay.
your early lessons, but you don't quite point what it is.
Whatever you do, don't touch this one thing.
Do not
The
open.
first rule is don't do this. I don't forget.
So go ahead and give me a
That's what he wants to
give me a
do.
discipline roll against 2 red and 2 purple.
Ooh.
That's fine. I still have the odds on my side.
Oh, in that case, go ahead and upgrade one of the purple.
Still have the odds on my side. I need a red.
The story doesn't want you to succeed. Just saying. Aw, boo.
Not too bad.
Where's the despair when you need one?
We have
Thank God for the dice themselves.
a failure and an advantage.
You can't quite place the thing you were thinking about. All of a sudden, you're like, that reminds me of, and like, all of a sudden, a desert breeze goes by, and you've forgotten your train of thought. You're just like, well, we gotta get the box loaded. I mean, the Frenchman wants you to load it, and you're distinctly recalling in your head, the Frenchman wants you to load it.
True.
Because, you know, we'll get more money when we get to Quintessence. And Quintessence will be happy that you dropped it off.
How big is this?
It's 10 foot by 10 foot by 12 foot.
Oh Jesus.
It's a
How
big.
heavy is it?
It seems to be very heavy from the crater it made when it crashed.
Oh. How many goats would it take to bring it to the ship?
How about we just
Quite
bring
a-
the ship to it?
Are there enough of that?
It would probably be easier to park the ship over, drop a rope, and crank it up.
Oh.
That's not what we're asking.
outside.
But you could always try ethermancy. Size matters not.
You know, it's true. And nothing bad could possibly happen.
Exactly.
Or you could, you know, have the engineer something.
We have a
I
perfectly
could.
good winch in the airship.
Do you
Stop
suggest?
calling me out!
As from the distance you hear across the desert, stop calling me a
You
witch.
know what I think might be fun? Do we have a place for it, like something that size in the ship,
Cargo.
the cargo hold to hold it?
Oh yeah.
Let's try some conjuration magic and see if we can teleport it into our ship.
Oh my god.
Because there's nothing that'll happen.
Okay.
Anthony is gonna say no.
You're busy working on the
can't do
ship.
that because we have to put it in the special anti-magic compartment.
No, but
remember?
that wouldn't work.
Go ahead and do your dice roll. And give me another mechanics roll for as you're tinkering on your ship for repairs.
This seems like a good idea.
It's a bad idea.
Can I
You're
load
gonna hurt
can
my
I give you
ship.
an extra blue?
I'm gonna make your ship better.
No. You're
I'm
not.
Unfortunately, Primal doesn't do
I
conjuration.
got a success and an
Oh,
does it?
advantage.
It's gonna be
I do not have
against
the book.
3 purple and a black. I don't think Primal does conjuration, but let's look. Let's just make
It might. I don't know.
It might. I forgot which. Maybe it was only the divine they can't do. Because I think they can summon animals. But we're all getting this great chance to bust the books out.
Yes.
Because we
Copies
haven't
in the book
looked.
at the table.
We haven't looked in the book in forever.
Arcana and primal. So actually, I can't do conjuration.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You specifically.
No, yeah. Divine
Fantastic.
cannot do conjuration.
Woo!
And
So we can have
Awesome.
Peter with his lesser dice roll try it.
let's not do that.
You guys have just been unhappy that you are ground zero for the next Aether Bomb. All I'm saying, you guys would have
You
all.
would have like got it halfway
It
through the
fuses
hall,
with
and
your
I'm
ship
like,
and
I'd
It's
have
a
been.
quintessence 2.0.
Quintusence.
Quintessence.
Yes, it's mine.
So what are you guys gonna do while she's banging away in the ship?
Then I guess if we can't teleport it, there's no purpose.
Do any of these other ships that crashed here have anything useful?
Yeah, go you
Goats.
and look. Yeah.
I would have been scrapping them if I hadn't had to be busy.
Go ahead and give me a
Fix it.
perception while you start kind of wandering off when he's talking about teleporting it. And he's like, I wish I could teleport. Why do the bonds of ethermancy not deny me the ability to teleport?
2 purple?
Yep.
So that is a
Right.
threat.
But you have an advantage to counter, so 2
two
successes.
successes.
You realize immediately when you start kicking these around,
Uh-huh.
mainly because the design of the ships and the wreckage, and it reminds you back home. The 2 fighters and the airship that was blown up in the sky were all 3 from the Sovereign Society, the think tank that took over Russia. Technically, the mad scientists that aren't good guys, the liberators of people, air quotes,
Right.
liberate. The other one was an unmarked civilian airship. You do know from the two fighters there are 2 explosive bombs that you can salvage off of them. Basically, they're like, nice sized bombs you just drop off. That your mechanic could quite easily attach to the outside of your ship.
I can do that.
I like how she did
Do
it.
you really want explosives
Scrappa.
just strapped to the side?
No,
of the
but we
ship?
can keep them in the cargo hold. Just
Scrappa.
drop them when we need
Scrappa,
them.
we found Scrappa.
I will totally go through. Also, I'm gonna, I guess perception.
Okay.
Craft perception. Can we flip one of those over, please, so that I can?
And do you
I'm
want to
gonna
use
go
your human
through-
ability to take it right back?
Sure.
You have the ability to steal one, so.
That way, I'm gonna see if there's other stuff I can.
Okay.
While we're here. I got a success.
Success. So you basically find enough spare parts to give your engine a good overhaul, as well as enough airbags for repairs.
Sweet.
Does the engine really need an overhaul? Like,
No,
we just
no.
got it.
You were
For the
super
next
good.
event.
But it's always nice to have them on edge.
She has the parts.
It's always good in case the teleportation goes wrong.
Or right. I mean,
Okay.
This law, I gotta make.
So you guys are basically going out, you're all looking at the problem with the box and the crate, and these guys are going off the wreckage, just checking them out. The guy's like, I still want money for my goats.
totes.
The goats are right there.
I was trying, okay?
Can I do mechanics on his gun?
No, it's a piece of shit.
Okay.
No.
It's shot.
Can he do magic on his gun?
Okay,
You
how
could
about this?
Try. What are you trying to do to it?
I assumed I was gonna make him into a goat, but
How about this? I make it at least look better.
Well, yeah, soak it in oil and give it a buff, and you're good.
Yeah, just do a little quick, so at least it might actually fool someone.
You basically give it a quick spit and paint job, and
Yeah.
fresh coat of oil makes everything look better.
Oh damn! No, it looks brand spanking new.
You actually pull some spare parts from the wreckages of guns for their ship, and you make him this horrible looking 50 caliber gun that's got like twice the magazine capacity it used to have, and he's like, boom, boom,
Say,
boom, and he's just,
how's that instead of paying for the damn goats?
and he looks at you and says, no pay for the goats, we cook the goats, and he points to
I
what
was
he
about
was
to say, it's
just
like, think of how many goats you could turn into kebabs with that thing.
there's now goats shot into pieces.
Oh. I
Nope.
just wanted him to be able to protect himself.
I mean,
He is.
you feed everybody. So you
First
basically,
today.
he's making food, and he's basically thanking you because his son is going to become a great ethermancer, just like you, sir, just like you. So how are you going to make the box go in your airship? Are you going to use your magic?
No.
No.
Yes.
No. We're
How are you going
winch
to-
We
it
have a
upwards.
It'll take like 10 men to get the box in your ship.
We have
Yeah.
an airship.
And then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, it's you guys the next morning and dropping your winch and pulling it out.
Winch.
I said winch.
Burn her!
As you guys get it in the ship, close the hatch, and you guys, and him, his wife, and his son are waving to you.
We put it in the special anti-magic compartment that we got the last time somebody gave us something ether bad.
Either bad. I like
This
that.
is too big for that
Either
compartment. It takes up a big chunk of the ship.
Can we make that compartment big enough to fix this?
I doubt it, but I can try. I have my contraption,
You do have your contraption.
so I just have to roll.
Can't we just hang it outside the ship as we fly?
Woo! First
That might
First
be-
Tuscan
Yeah.
Raider on a hill that
That
takes
might
a
be
pot
worse.
shot, hits the rope, and it goes falling.
It's like,
Yeah,
well,
because
not my
we have
problem.
lots of stuff on hand.
You do have lots of.
So once per session, make a hard. So 3.
3 purple. And she's just doing this whole moving around in like super fast
I'll help
mode.
you out.
Oh, that's
He's a mad scientist.
I think I have a higher intellect than you, so you just get a green instead of
A green?
blues.
Mm-hmm. He's going for the straight up upgrade.
Wait,
That's the two of your.
a green instead of the blues? Why does she lose her blues?
Well, the blues would be for the help.
Yeah.
He can't increase her
okay.
dice for that.
Okay, so
Nice.
let's see here. Oh wow, I did really well. So I got 3 successes and 1 advantage.
Damn.
So slowly, while the airship's doing lazy turns because there's no one at the tail while you're in the hall building things,
Yep.
You-
I like pin the rudder to the side.
and then all of a sudden you feel the ship yaw the other way as Peter's little apprentice is playing with the wheel.
Oh.
As you guys are moving around and you're building basically a ether quantum containment cartridge filter thing, and you'll debate the patent pending.
It's actually a shield.
Well, he wants to give it a cool mad scientist name.
No, I
You just
don't.
wanna call
It's a
it
shield. I call
Okay.
it what it is.
It's adjustable to size.
So, who's gonna be doing the astronavigation to Quintessence?
You've been there before, right?
I'm there. I'm from there.
Yeah,
So,
because anyone else is rolling 4 purple
Yes.
and 2 black.
So perhaps you should.
Would this be something that I could use a utility magic for? Since
You
I'm
could-
from there, and it would just be like a
Totally,
rogue
you could
spell.
beacon to
Yeah.
Quintessence.
Yeah.
Totally, that would totally be appropriate.
Yeah, so that it is a single purple for a normal utility spell.
Yeah, and I give you a
So-
blue on top of
Yeah.
it.
So this,
And I've been robbed of all my destiny points, so I can't do anything horrible to you.
I made it somewhat.
Oh,
A little bit.
yeah.
A little tiny.
Even
Yeah.
the blue carried.
Even the blue loved you. So you guys, you're basically follow the glowing wall, and you basically make a glowing wall where he can just point the ship towards the glowing wall.
It's the little breadcrumb trail from Fable.
No,
It's
there
just
you
like,
go.
Just keep going this way.
So you're getting this really great course that it's like following a HUD display. You
Yeah.
know, it's super easy for you to follow. So I'm
Stay on
assuming
target.
you're staying nice and high and safe. And,
Yeah.
okay, so you guys are heading towards Quintessence. You know,
Out of the range of any random passerby Tuscan Raider.
missiles, that type of thing. All of a sudden, 4 days of travel go by. All of a sudden, you notice the weather starts turning dark because you're getting close to the maelstrom.
They're
This guy is like,
First thing I
Tiny
thought.
ship was
I'm gonna go
tossed.
higher.
Not for the courage of the
well, the
fearless
storm
crew,
goes
the
all the way up.
Gallivant would be
It goes all the way up.
It goes all the way
Legs
up.
go all the way up Griffin.
Yes. This is the type of reason why you need ethermancers to come or go in this place, because no one comes in uninvited. So, as you guys are coming up, the maelstrom, you feel the purple-blue flashes of ether in this giant hurricane-sized storm that surrounds Quintessence. As the ethermancer has this almost maniacal look in his little
Yes.
eyes because he's sensing all the ether there.
I bet we could make this one in under 12 parsecs.
Give me one more discipline roll against 2 red and 2 purple.
What could go wrong? Nothing
Can
could
I
go wrong.
upgrade to like to
You
like,
can- you
to
can
like
upgrade
turn
to-
one of
yeah,
those
you
purple
can.
into another red?
Do I need
No,
to
no.
make
Well, those are
as
two
well?
purples.
No, this
You
is just
can
him.
turn the green into a yellow.
This is just something that happened to him when he was at the temple that we haven't really found out
Oh,
about.
okay, this has been going so well for us.
Not just anybody who has ether magic.
Just delayed brain
You
melt.
could use your ethermancy in
I'm
theory,
trying
but do you have
deliberately not to use my
I-
ether magic.
Look at that. An advantage.
Yep.
an advantage?
Same thing as before. One advantage.
All of a sudden, as you're asking him, hey, how do we get into Quintessence?
This way.
Just as he's pointing the way for you, and you feel he's trying to open himself to the ether and feel the way in there, all of a sudden, who else is on the bridge besides these two? Are you guys doing your stuff, or would you be in the bridge with them?
Oh, I would want you to go.
I do not want to be outside in the crow's nest in this storm.
Okay,
so
because Hilda's
I'm down.
glued to a window watching
Yeah.
I
this.
want to see. I want to see the maelstrom.
So we're all on the bridge where
We're
there's
all
the
on the
nice,
bridge.
sort of-
You know, the crow's nest is a wonderful place to view this.
Yeah,
maelstrom.
no.
I mean,
All of
seriously,
a
Oh,
sudden,
and we're making
it's not
sure
going
the
to be
kid
worse than anywhere else.
is
on the
inside,
ship.
strapped
Here.
in
strapped in for safety.
for safety.
in one of the seats in the alcoves.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, the little stewardess style.
And I have a
Yes.
trick lock installed.
All of a sudden, as you're asking him, where do we go into the storm? As you're feeling the ship is just shuddering from the pure ether. All of a sudden, all of you hear the most spooky, disembodied, weird, maniacal laugh come out of your ethermancer.
This is normal. Is it like an abnormal?
pretty
It's
normal.
abnormal. It's
Oh.
got like reverb, like you're possessed by the devil from Poltergeist.
No, that's pretty normal too.
No, not from Poltergeist though. That's a different devil.
And all of a sudden you're just like.
It's cathartic.
And as soon as it stops, he seems to not know he did it whatsoever. As you guys are all looking at him, as you're feeling the ship start to get pulled into the mail.
This is not the first time this has happened to one of my characters
Okay.
in an RPG.
Can I make a cool roll to throw a spell quick enough to look at him?
You can next time. That's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
As you're feeling the ship like black hole style start getting pulled in the current.
Power slide.
As our Ethermancer might have to find out what that despair that happened at the temple's all about. Dun dun dun!
We're gonna be back here at 9 in the morning tomorrow.
Yay.
For games, wonderful games.
Life is hard for you.
Yep. Axe and allies.
Are you going to the steampunk thing?
Yes, we'll be at the character development.
Yes.